everyone. Last time we were learning about convection currents. We learned about water and how its temperature will affect its density. Hot water will rise to the top because it's less dense, and cold water will sink to the bottom because it's more dense. I'm going to use the same logic today, but we're going to focus on air. What about air? Air can have different temperatures too, right? Hot air, cold air. Will hot air be less dense and cold air be more dense? To answer this question, I want to show you guys something. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on. Before we get started, safety glasses first. I'm going to put these on. And what I have here is a special type of paper. I want you to watch it as I set it on fire. Whoa! Did you just see that? What happened? My piece of paper burnt all the way down. Here it's coming back down again, no longer paper, now it's ash. As it started burning, went all the way to the bottom, and as soon as it got to the bottom, then it started to float. Let's watch that again and see what's happening. See it in slow motion? What do you think is happening? Take a minute. Think about why it's starting to rise, and why doesn't it rise from the beginning? Well, this was a special piece of paper, so please don't try this at home. But this piece of paper was hollow on the inside. When it's hollow on the inside, what does it have on the inside? Air. As I set it on fire, the air inside of it started to heat up, and it wanted to do what? Well, we know that hot water wants to rise. What about hot air? Hot air wants to rise too. So as the air inside is getting hotter and hotter, it's trying to rise, but it couldn't. Kept trying to rise, but it couldn't, until there was only a little bit left. Why? Well, it was light enough to be able to float. The air was able to carry the last small bit of the paper up with it. The air wasn't strong enough when there was a full piece of paper. We needed more heat, but for the amount of heat that we had, it was enough just to lift off the end. It went up and then came back down, right? As soon as we saw the fire go out, the air cooled down and came back down. Now we're going to use the same knowledge that we just got from this experiment to build a hot air balloon. Hot air balloon works with the same technology. Hot air, lots and lots of hot air to be able to make the balloon rise up high. For this lab, you will need a small square of aluminum foil, 4 birthday candles, a tape measure or a ruler, tape, scissors, a fire source, and from your enrichment bag, you will find 6 straws, and there is a trash bag. Please be very careful with the trash bag provided. You will also need other trash bags you may have at home to serve as your independent variable. In addition to the trash bags that I've provided, I urge you to please go around your house and find other trash bags that you may have of different sizes, of different materials, of different thicknesses and different weights to try as well. Please be very careful with the plastic bag that I've given you. There's only one in there, and finding a replacement is going to be very difficult. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to take one straw and bend it in half and cut. We are starting the base of our hot air balloon. You're going to take another straw and you're going to make a small snip on one end. You're going to take another straw and make another snip. The goal here is to create a straw length of 40 centimeters. Now, if I measure one of my straws, I only have about 19 centimeters. And if I add two together, I still don't have enough. But you notice I have two with these slits inside of them, and I have another. What I'm going to do is use this as a connector in between these two straws. So this middle straw, this smaller straw is going to go inside, and I have just spliced my straw. I have made it connector and made it bigger. And I'm going to use a piece of tape, making sure to seal where the cut is and to connect the two straws together. I'm going to add my tape, making sure that my two straws are connected without using too much tape. I have my small straw in the middle, a big one at this end, and then now I'm going to find my other straw with a slit and connect it to the other side of my small straw. Push them in and tape again, taping the two straws together. And now I have created one long straw. And we're gonna have to do this one more time. So I have my connector, I have my small one from the other set that I used. I'm going to take my scissors, give a small slit here, small slit here, put my connector in the middle, slide it right in, add some tape, now bring my other straw that has the slit in it, bring it to the other side. And now I'm going to tape this part too. Now I should have two identical sized straws. These are my two straws. Now what I need is to cut these down to 40 centimeters each. If I measure my straw, I see that I should be at least at 40, and I am at a little bit over 45. So I'm going to line it up, find the 40 centimeter mark, and snip. And I will do the same thing for my other straw. You won't need these two small pieces. You can put them off to the side. But now you have the beginning of a base of your hot air balloon. The next thing you want to do is find the midpoint, find the center of the two straws, and make an X. Using a small piece of tape, you're going to connect the two straws. And this is not going to be perfect, but making sure you have a small piece of tape. There we go. I have made an X with my two straws. For this next part, you have your aluminum foil, small square. What you're going to do is just fold the edges in a little bit, all four corners. Just to make it a little bit stronger. And now we need to add our candles onto my foil. Now notice I have 4 candles. I can add these 4 candles. Can you think of a way to add more fire without adding more weight? So I could add these 4 candles and I would have the weight of 4 candles, but I would only have 4 wicks. Can you think of a way of adding 8 wicks, but only the weight of 4 candles? Did you think of it? Well, what I'm going to do is cut the candles in half. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I have 8 really small candles, but the weight of 4. Now you're going to need the help of an adult because you'll see that the candles that we cut don't have a wick exposed. So using my fire, I'm just going to burn off a little bit of the excess wax until the wick gets exposed. And I'm going to do this 4 more times. Now what I need to do is attach my candles to the center of my foil. Make sure you have an adult help you. I'm just burning off some of the candle. Oops. And I have to hold it for just a minute so that it re-solidifies and it can stand up straight. Now that I have all 8 candles attached to my foil, this is going to be my heat source for my hot air balloon. But I'm going to have to let it rest for a few minutes so that it can cool down and make sure it's stuck properly. Now at this point, your trash bag is going to be the actual balloon. So you want to open up the trash bag, being very gentle with it, making sure no holes and no rips, because we only have one. Start with your other bags first. Start with whatever you have at home first, because you have a few of those, and see if those work. Okay, make sure it's open and nice and airy. Then what you're going to do is you're going to need the tape, and that you're going to bring back your base. You're going to take the straw
And you're just going to find any part of the bag, it does not matter. You're going to take the plastic bag, gently fold it over like that. Take a small piece of tape, making sure to connect the bag to the plastic, but not overly connecting, leaving a big part of the bag still open. Now that you did one side, the next side is going to be important. You're going to open the bag and see where this long straw, where the rest of it continues, where does this line up to the bag? There should still be a lot of slack. So make sure you open up the bag, line it up, and fold it over. Get your tape, connect the bag to the straw, and we have to do this 2 more sides, and these 2 sides, well, it'll probably be dictated to you exactly where you connect. You're gonna find the bag, wrap it around your straw, get your tape, and connect. And you have one last side. There we go. And what we have here is the beginning of a hot air balloon. You have the base at the bottom and the balloon. We are just missing one thing, and that is our heat source. To add your heat source, you need to bring back your candles and have some tape ready. Now, this is the bag. You're going to flip it around, and you have to be very, very gentle and very careful here. I would have your tape ready, one long piece. You're going to take the candles and very gently, very carefully flip it on the inside and connect using the tape, making sure you don't push in too hard because the candles will pop right off. Remember, the candles are just attached by their own wax. I could leave one tape, but I'm going to add a second tape just to make sure that we are secure. And now I have my heat source, my base, and my plastic bag. One of my candles did fall off. I'm going to leave it. I should be okay with 7 candles. So exciting. My hot air balloon is almost ready to go. But there's one more thing I need to do. I need to be responsible, because if this hot air balloon goes up, I don't want it to end up in somebody else's backyard or polluting the environment. What I'm going to do is take a long pre-cut piece of string and tie it to one end so that I can hold it kind of like you would a kite. Now you're going to start off with your other trash bags. Remember, you're not going to start with mine. Test with your other trash bags. Test a few different trash bags. You can use the same base and the same fire source 2 or 3 times, should be just fine. But make sure when you are testing, you need to be in a space outdoors without any big objects or anything around you. You need a big open space. Do not try this indoors. Now, before going outdoors, let me show you how you want to carry this. You want to hold the base and hold the top like so, and hold the string as well in the same hand, making sure it doesn't get tangled and this doesn't get caught to anything. And you need the help of an adult to carry the lighter for you. The lighter that works are the wind resistant lighters are best with a long stick. Matches are not a great idea. You might get yourself hurt. And if it's not a windy day, another lighter should be fine. Now I found a nice large space outdoors. I have my hot air balloon intact, and I have my string, and I also have my heat source. I'm definitely going to need the help of somebody to hold this up for me while I light my heat source. So as I place this on the ground, if it's a windy day, better wait for the wind to stop, because that might burn a hole through your bag. I'm going to place it on the ground. I'm going to have somebody help me hold this part up. Making sure the bag is away from the flame as I light it very, very quickly. Hold it higher, hold it higher. Lighting up all my candles. Once I have them all lit, I'm going to let go. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Wind. Oh no. Oh. Trying it again. The wind is not your friend when you're trying to do this experiment. If it's windy, you're better off waiting and doing it another time. I've lost my assistant too, so I'm going to do this by myself. I have a runaway. My string has fallen off. No lift off. I think too much of the bag has been burnt. You have to try it again. Third time's a charm. Let's try this again. Can you hold the string for me? Let a little bit go, sure. That's good. Can you hold this? Thank you. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Go. Give it more slack. Let's watch our balloon and see where it goes. Oh, look at that. It's taking off. It's going up. Why? How does it work? As the air inside the balloon heats up, it causes the hot air to rise because it is now less dense. You can stop it. You can stop it. Look at how high it is. Going up. It'll go as high as we let it, but I'm holding it with my string so it doesn't go too high. Okay, let's try to pull it down.
How fun was that?
Here's my hot air balloon that got stuck in the tree, but luckily I had my string. I was able to get it back down, and some of the bag burnt, but pretty much intact. I have all my candles here.
Now, did you try this with different bags? Remember I told you, try it with different bags of different weights, different thicknesses, different volume. I have a huge bag here. Really, really big. Much bigger than the one I tested with right now. This one did not work. Tried it with another bag, about the same size as this one, but still didn't work. What do you think the trick is? What do you think the secret is? Why did this bag work and the other bags didn't? A few things to keep in mind. Remember I told you with the first experiment we did, the piece of paper that took off? Didn't take off right away. It took off when the piece of paper was really, really tiny and a small amount was left. It's because it was light. This bag that I've given you is a 12-gallon bag, but it is super, super, super thin and super light. It's actually not a good material for a trash bag because if it's so thin, it'll rip easily. It's not durable, but it's fabulous for our hot air balloon because it makes it light. This heavy-duty bag has a lot of volume. It's bigger. It's 18 gallons, but it is so heavy, so durable, super thick. And this one is the same volume, it's the same thick, it's the same, holds the same amount, 12 gallons, but it is so much thicker, making it heavier, making it too heavy to take flight. Now, can I make a really, really heavy balloon float? Yeah, hot air balloons are really heavy. They hold people inside of them. What do I need to compensate for it? Volume. It has to be a lot bigger. There's actually a ratio that they calculate. The weight to the volume to be able to carry it. Smaller the weight, the lesser the volume. The bigger the weight, the bigger the volume. Now, the one that we tried was a special bag from
store you guys might not have access to, or you may, that was able to work. 8-gallon bags, 10-gallon bags, 12-gallon bags, even bigger bags. Try those. One other hint I'm gonna give you is, if you've been to the dry cleaners, your clothes come in those plastic covers. They have a hole at the top. But if you seal that hole at the top, you can turn it into a plastic bag, right? Try that one. The variable that we changed today was our bags. But are there any other variables that we could change? I told you we only used 8 candles. Could we have used more? Could we have used less? That's another variable to try. Just to recap, the hot air balloon works because the heat inside the balloon, the air became so hot that it wanted to rise. It wanted to go higher because it's less dense. What would happen if all the candles went out at the top? Well, the air would start to cool down, and that air wants to come back down because it is more dense. Go ahead and try this. You saw that I had a few failures, and that's okay. This is a very tough experiment, especially tough if it's your first time, but if you try it multiple times, you'll get better and better. Don't worry if it doesn't work. It may work on your 10th trial. The first time I did this, I had over 100 trials. Good luck, and I can't wait to see your experiments.